So we got several in the crowd tonight, and we're happy to have you guys, especially our veterans that we're going to recognize here in a few minutes. And then I know Leadership Bedford is in the house, and so thank you guys for being a part of that. And we have some other just guests, and so we're grateful to have you come and observe our meeting tonight. So we'll take roll call by County Clerk Donna Thomas.
Commissioner Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Boutwell.
Here.
Commissioner Boyette.
Here.
Commissioner Brothers. Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Epperson.
Here.
Commissioner Farrer.
Here.
Commissioner Hooker. Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Maddox.
Here.
Commissioner Neely.
Here.
Commissioner Pinson. Here. Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Adam Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner Mark Thomas.
Here.
Commissioner Thompson.
Here.
Commissioner Vick.
Here.
Commissioner Yaki.
Here.
17 present, 1 absent.
All right, so first item on the agenda is approval of the commission minutes from October the 8th meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion is second. We're open for discussion or clarification. Does anyone have any? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, public comment. I didn't see anything out on the desk and nothing was handed to me. Is there anyone in the audience that wished to speak on anything that's on the agenda tonight? Okay, hearing none, seeing none, we're moving on to elections and confirmations. So elect notaries for December of 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then we got notice that we had one vacate from the beer board, so I'd like to put Joe McCurry's name forward.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you for that. We don't normally have presentations, but we do have a quick one here tonight, and honoring and recognizing our veterans. There's, I believe, 38 actual veterans that work for the county, so we're grateful for them. Some of them were able to be here, some were not, but I'm going to come down there, and we're going to do a little presentation for them, take a picture, and we'll go back from there. But thinking about and reflecting on Veterans Day, of course, those folks that serve in uniform are very important people. I was doing a presentation for TCAT the other day and was looking at different things, and I come across this talking about traits of a veteran. And I think this speaks well of all veterans, and it doesn't matter what branch of service that you serve. But you can count on the fact that they're reliable, they're responsible, and they're accountable. And that clearly is some of the hallmark traits that make them so important when they come home from service and why they're sought after for high performance positions and responsibilities in our system. And these folks are no different, and we're grateful to have them. So I've got some folks going to help me call out names, and we're going to shake hands and give them a little token of our appreciation, do a picture, and then we'll be right back on that.
So we're going to recognize veterans by department. So when you hear your name called, if you will come up and walk around to meet with the mayor and our veterans director, Mr. Benjamin Ely. Corrections Department, we have David Edwards serving in the Army. Corrections Department, Duke Lynn, Navy. Corrections Department, Charles Rickett, Marine Corps. From our courts, George Marsh, Marines. From our courts, Stephen Simmons, Air Force. EMS, Clarence Santini, Army National Guard. EMS, Michelle Upton, Army. EMS, James Worley, Army National Guard. From our fire department, Jim Aiken, Air Force. From fire, Michelle Poole, Army. From fire, Brad Rogers, Navy, Army National Guard. Jamie Worley, Army National Guard. Yeah. From our IT department, AJ Vanderpool, Air Force. From juvenile detention, Angel Guerreras, Army. From our sheriff's department, Deputy Daryl Birdsong, Marine Corps. Sergeant Chris Brown, Air Force. Deputy Brian Ferris, Air Force. Deputy Billy Halsley, Army. Sergeant Joe Martinez, Marine Corps. Deputy Monty Moore, Army National Guard. Deputy Josh Nave, Navy. Sergeant Jason Nobles, Army. Deputy Donald Purdue, Marine Corps. Deputy Alethea Ron, Army National Guard. Deputy Cameron Stacy, Marines. Deputy Ray Templeton, Air Force. Deputy David Trisdale, Army. Lieutenant Rick Gentry, Marine Corps. James Burks from our Solid Waste Department, National Guard. From our Veterans Department, Jackie Burks, Army National Guard. From our Veterans Department, Kara Cox, Army. From our Veterans Department, David Easter, Army Reserves. From our Veterans Department, Benjamin Ely, Army. From our Veterans Department, Jerry Jesh, Marines. From our Veterans Department, Bill Tucker, Army. From our County Commissioner, elected officials, Scott Johnson, Air Force. And County Commissioner Tony Smith, Army Vietnam Vet Specialist.
Okay, there you go. Well, Commissioner Biff Farah was in the Army National Guard. I wasn't aware of that, but thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Did we miss anybody else?
Didn't you serve?
Say again?
Did you serve?
Yeah, that's all. All right. We're ready to,
Yes.
okay, guys. All right, guys, thank you all so much for your service, and we're back on. Next item is resolution, under resolutions, resolution 25-8, to provide for educational incentives payments for county legislative body members of the Bedford County government. It's placed on the agenda by the Financial Management Committee. CTAS recommended that this come forward due to the legislation from Governor Bill Lee.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. We're open for discussion. Commissioner Maddox.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I believe that it's my understanding that this funding would come from our county budget.
That'd be correct. If you vote for this, we would do an amendment. Correct.
And I also, you know, it's one of those, for me, personally, it's training, this training is something that we have had to do since day one, right? It's been an expectation. It used to be 7 hours, and now it's 8 hours. And it's par for the course. I really feel like that this training is not hard to complete. This training is relatively easy. They make it very simple for us to go and log on and do this training online. We can also go to that 2-hour meeting in Lewisburg. That's 2 hours. For me, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like we need to leave our taxpayers' money alone and do the training as we're required to do with no extra cost to the county. So I stand against it.
Okay. Commissioner Farrow.
My question is, how much does it cost to get an hour? How much do they charge you? Is it free or?
Yeah, the training is free, yes, sir. This was put forward by the,
To cover some of the cost of travel, is that basically what's for?
it was an incentive, I believe, that the governor's office was recommending that if they're willing to do the training or as part of the training, and I believe the goal was, again, this did not come from us. This is coming through the CTAS system from the state under the TCA, but it was to, I guess, incentivize people to make sure they get the training. And my understanding was it also, depending on what you approved, people that are not required to necessarily get the training, if they got the training, you would have the option to offer them the incentive as well. So I believe it was simply meant to, again, encourage people to continue to professionally develop in their roles here.
Yes, sir, and I think it's a good idea. I still don't understand, how much is it? How much do you?
Oh, $600. It would be $600 for each person. If you pass this tonight, then everyone that completes the training, whether it was mandatory or not, as a commissioner, this is only affects commissioners, by the way, which is why it's before you guys. The committee did not, it wasn't our place to rule in or out this for you. It would be $600 annually. CTAS would validate that you had had the training, is the way I read the situation. And once they say, yes, that commissioner has completed it, then the county would issue that incentive check annually. And we'd have to figure out budget-wise, you know, what month of the year you do it in and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, to get the $600, then they have to go for the full 8 hours.
Correct. It would be for the full training of the 8 hours, yes. Commissioner Neely.
I did ask Charlie Curtis about this when we were in Lewisburg, because up until this point, only commissioners elected since 2018 moving forward have to complete the training. They've added an hour to it, and it really didn't have any teeth. I mean, you could do it or not do it, and we have commissioners on our commission that are in compliance and some who are not. And I asked him, why did they do it? And they started to do a punitive move for those who are not in compliance and then decided not to and decided to incentivize it. So I'm kind of in agreement with some other commissioners. I don't see the point in it. $600 is not going to make or break me, and I'm not really interested in putting that burden on taxpayers.
Commissioner Anderson.
My question is for the county attorney. Mr. Bobo, how's this not giving yourself, I'm sure there's a legitimate reason, but this reeks of giving yourself a raise. We went back and we went through where you couldn't give yourself a raise. Maybe an incentive's not a raise, but I would like for you to just clarify that for me.
State authorization, and they classify it as a reimbursement of expenses rather than a raise, because you cannot give yourself a raise in the term.
But there are no expenses. There aren't any expenses, as Commissioner Farrow just pointed out. There's no expenses here, so you're just giving yourself $600.
That's what the state said, and it does reek of an increase, but that's why it has come to this body by way of the state.
Commissioner Davis.
Are there any repercussions of a commissioner not completing these hours?
Currently, My understanding is currently, at the end of the four-year term, the comptroller's office, or maybe it's annually, they report who has met the requirements or not. But I don't believe it's punitive in that it does not disqualify you from being able to run again as far as being eligible for the ballot. Does anybody have any information contrary to that? Is that the way everybody understands that part? So right now, currently, you would potentially show up on what's called a comptroller's list of elected officials that did not complete the training. Commissioner Neely.
That list comes out yearly, and it's a report that's online that you can look at. Anybody can look at that report and see who's in compliance and who's not in all of the counties across the state of Tennessee.
Commissioner Yockey.
When this was brought up, the ones that I thought of were about half of the commission who are not required to complete the training. And so I felt that then this would be an incentive for those people to be more up to date and get some of the very good things that CTAS does offer that are current. Commissioner Anderson's answer, what could be incurred is travel expenses, and especially if you went to some of the conferences that are held in Nashville, which are excellent. So there are some expenses, but personally, if you can incentivize somebody either to attend a board meeting, which we do by compensation, and makes a difference, and we can put this as a dangling carrot for the commissioners to be more up to date on things, then I think that's something to think about.
Commissioner Maddox.
Mr. Chairman, I believe that the incentive should be the desire to do the will of the people and be the most educated that you can in the topics in which we discuss. I strongly again feel that this training is relatively easy to do. We have 365 days to complete just a small number of hours, 8 hours of training in that time period. There are a plethora of online courses that would allow us to get that training done easily. Again, with this being something that the county is coming from county funding, I don't feel that it's the right thing to do. I think that we as elected officials should have the desire to want to do this training on our own without the extra compensation.
Okay. Yeah, Commissioner Johnson.
I'm just curious. I mean, when those of us that got elected since 2018, we knew this is a requirement, that we have to do this. That was a clear expectation. I'm curious for any of the commissioners that maybe talked to Charlie Curtis, whoever, they say why they exempted commissioners prior to 2018 that were elected, because this is actually a very good training. I've been working with county government 20 years, and I've learned something every time I do this training. Anybody know why they exempted those of you that have been here a while?
I'm not aware of the particular, except political. You're familiar with that term, aren't you?
My guess is the old grandfather rule. Grandfathered it in.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah, Commissioner Mark Thomas.
Well, it sounds like this commission is kind of mixed on this, and I agree. This is midterm, and we'll have to do a budget amendment. Why couldn't we revisit this during the next budget cycle, and that way you could see what it was going to cost us, and if we can vote it up or vote it down, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't affect me anyway. So, you know, it's like I say, I think it's good incentive for you to go out there, because if you have to sit in front of a computer, then they're paying you for your time. Evidently, there's not enough people commission-wise that are doing this, and so they had to throw out an incentive for you to get your training. So it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. You know, we can defer it till next budget cycle or whatever y'all want to do.
Okay, now the motion on the floor and second is to.
Well, yes, to approve it.
Right.
And on it, I think that, you know, it's whatever y'all want to do.
Commissioner Neely.
One other point, Linda mentioned that commissioners prior to 2018, it would incentivize them. They're not kept from being able to do the training. All you have to do is create the account in CTAS, and can take as many of the courses as you want to. I mean, we're not limited just to doing a few just to get the hours. We can do as many as we want during the course of the year.
All right, any other comments? Okay, so the motion on the floor is yes would be to approve it, no would be to not approve it. In other words, it would stay like it currently is. Does everybody understand what you're voting on? Okay, when your name's called, vote for or against.
Commissioner Anderson,
No.
Commissioner Boutwell,
No.
Commissioner Boyette,
No.
Commissioner Brothers, Commissioner Epperson,
No.
Commissioner Farrer,
No.
Commissioner Hooker, Commissioner Johnson,
No.
Commissioner Maddox,
No.
Commissioner Neely,
No.
Commissioner Pinson,
No.
Commissioner Davis,
No.
Commissioner Smith,
No.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
No.
Commissioner Thompson,
No.
Commissioner Vick,
No.
Commissioner Yaki.
No.
Does anyone wish to change your vote? 0 ayes, 17 noes.
Okay, so it didn't pass. Next item on the agenda, rules and legislative, nothing to report. Law enforcement, nothing to report. Courthouse and property, there was a recommendation to approve transfer of fire equipment to fire stations in the area ravaged by the Hurricane Helene.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'd like to defer this for 30 days pending some paperwork that has to come from the comptroller's office for us to complete this project.
Second.
Okay, motion is second to defer it for a month. For those that might not have caught that, and Mark could talk more if we need to, but we had some surplus equipment where we'd been fortunate enough to get a grant to update our equipment, and it was being looked at to potentially transfer to those departments that lost everything in East Tennessee. And based on what you're saying there, we're looking for some clarification and documentation to support it, and so you're wanting to defer it a month.
That's correct, Mayor.
Okay, does everybody understand that? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, so we'll defer that for 1 month. So it'll come back to the commission 1 month, okay? Next item is Financial Management Committee, quarterly financials.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Now we're open for discussion. Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Next item is Board of Education Budget Amendment Number 1.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. We're open for discussion on that. Okay, so this amendment, when your name's called, vote for or against.
Commissioner Yaki,
Yes.
Commissioner Vick,
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson,
Yes.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
Pass.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Pinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Neely,
Yes.
Commissioner Maddox,
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Farrer,
Aye.
Commissioner Epperson,
Yes.
Commissioner Brothers, Commissioner Boyette,
Yes.
Commissioner Boutwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson.
Yes.
Does anyone wish to change your vote? 16 ayes, 0 noes, 1 pass.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is the County Budget Amendment Number 2.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. We're open for discussion on this one. Okay, hearing no discussion, when your name's called, vote for or against.
Commissioner Anderson,
Yes.
Commissioner Boutwell,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyette,
Yes.
Commissioner Brothers, Commissioner Epperson,
Yes.
Commissioner Farrer,
Aye.
Commissioner Johnson,
Yes.
Commissioner Maddox,
Yes.
Commissioner Neely,
Yes.
Commissioner Pinson,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner Adam Thomas,
Yes.
Commissioner Mark Thomas,
I'm going to pass on this one, too.
Commissioner Thompson,
Thinking I should pass, but I'm gonna vote yes.
Commissioner Vick,
Yes.
Commissioner Yaki.
Yes.
Does anyone wish to change your vote? 16 ayes, 0 noes, 1 pass.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the Pitney Bowes contract for EMS. It's greater than 1 year, so that's why it's on the agenda. Okay, any questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now we're on to other business. I don't think there'd be anything that fits that. Announcements. Let me tell you that you should have on your desk tonight, Tim Estes from our veterans folks had some literature for the American Legion sponsorship for Boys and Girls Club and Wreaths across America. So you'll see that in your packet as for your information. And again, we appreciate all of our veterans and those that are doing great things for our community. Reminder, the courthouse government regular administrative offices are closed for Thanksgiving. Obviously, our public safety people have to work. That's the 28th and the 29th. And then we certainly look and want to see everybody out for our Bedford County Christmas tree lighting. That's on December the 3rd. It's a 3 to 9 window. There's a big window of time to be in and out. I think they're going to actually light the tree at 5, 6? Okay, at 6. And so certainly you don't want to miss that, but there's going to be all kinds of neat things to do. The city and county, we're big sponsors in this. There's other sponsors, a lot of people involved in making this happen. This is a really nice event that's had several months of planning and coordination, so we expect to have a good crowd. We pray for good weather, and Christmas is a wonderful time to come together and celebrate and bring your family. Is there other announcements? Commissioner Anderson.
All right, Friday night, 7 o'clock, Central High School. We got a chance to go to quarterfinals. Shelbyville's playing Nolensville. This is the finest group of young men I've ever been around. And it just so happens our county attorney is the grandfather of 2 of them. But seriously, this is the best group of young men across the board I've seen. It'll make all of you proud to come out and watch them. They're outstanding young men across the board. And it's a big game because we got a chance to go to the quarterfinals.
That's fantastic. Anybody else got a particular announcement? Commissioner Keith Davis.
I won't take much time up, but I want to kind of give a shout out to a couple of people. I'm on the board at directors at the Fly. A few months ago, Commissioner Pinson brought it to my attention that there is a grant for the state that came through Pat Marsh, our state representative. I want to shout out to him. Well, after she gave me the shout out, I went to Representative Marsh and knew there was an $88,000 grant that was out there. More than that, but that's, so we dotted I's and crossed the T's and got the grant out. And at the same time that our grand opening was at Cartwright, that's when I ran into him and I kind of just said, I appreciate a little help, and into this story, you're going to see why. A couple weeks later, Shelbyville Power came to me and said, hey, we've got a grant coming from the TVA. And the TVA, we are going to match this grant coming from the TVA. Well, this is in 2 weeks. God just works in great ways. Well, we got that grant out, and in about 2 months, we received over $100,000 in grants for the Bedford Arts Center. And we are remodeling, and great things are coming. And if any of y'all, besides Sylvia, had something to do with this, I want to thank you. And again, Pat Marsh and Shelbyville Power, I appreciate it and appreciate you guys listening. Thank you.
Great things happening in Bedford. Commissioner Vick.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if you want to talk about the broadband. We were fortunate, and thank Commissioner Davis, we were fortunate in our application on our Broadband Ready grant that Bedford County will receive a $100,000 Broadband Ready grant. The Shelbyville Library received a $630,000 grant to provide access training at the library. Our $100,000 grant will go to the Bedford County Veterans Center so that our veterans in surrounding county will provide telehealth equipment to give more veterans easier access to medical treatment. Additional workstations will be deployed for easier access to many of the online job and social services. The community clinic of Shelbyville and Bedford County will get additional telehealth equipment, including translation services to support the growing demand there. Their University of Tennessee Extension Service is going to get a work center over there for them with additional high-speed broadband. Our outdoor group, which is Other Door. The Other Door is our reentry program. They will be getting computers and workstations as well. United, our partner, and Duck River recently connected the Boys and Girls Club with a 8G high-speed fiber over there. Our fire station at Normandy and at Flat Creek have received these broadband grants as well with high-speed fiber for them. So we are rapidly moving, Mr. Mayor, through your direction to be the first rural connected county. So there's a big shout out to Tracy Strossner, who was immensely helpful. The Governor, Lee, the ECD, Representative Morris, Senator Reeves, Mayor, thank you for all your leadership and help on this. And we are really moving in a positive direction, getting ready for this final round of grant that should be coming up in the first of the year. So thank you for all the work everyone on this commission has done to fund this. Everyone on this commission deserves credit for this work.
Thank you for that. Just to put it in perspective about the broadband, to make you think about what has been able to be done, and it's been long coming. There was over 5,000 households, you would say, that did not have connectivity in any form when we all got started in 2018 and been working through grant process to get here. That number is now under 1,400. Now, that even when this is all said and done, that won't mean there's not anywhere in the county that might not be able to connect. But as far as the data maps and what the state and the federal say are the areas that are supposed to have connectivity and don't, that's pretty significant to have come that far this fast. And then all this is building right behind that with United and the other providers as they come along. But we've been fortunate because of United's connection to the community before we got this far. We were really able to lean in here and make some difference. So you think about from 5,000 to under 14, I believe the number is now, and they expect to close the gap on the rest of that with this last grant round. Will be significant for Bedford for sure. Somebody, yeah, Commissioner Epperson.
I want to say I got my broadband, Linda. I don't know if you got yours, but you'll be the last one. I am thrilled. I've been waiting 34 years. I've had a TV antenna and no internet. Yes, so I got it Wednesday. Sorry, Linda.
Well, there you go. So somebody lost the bet, right? So, all right. Commissioner Yaki.
The Saturday after our tree lighting, which is the 7th, December 7th, Normandy is having a very Normandy Christmas marketplace. Shopping, food truck, silent auction, Santa, tree lighting, and more. And they would appreciate your attendance.
Okay, can you clarify that? Because you confused me. The Christmas on the Square Christmas tree lighting is the 3rd.
December 3rd is the Tuesday.
Right, okay.
And this is this next Saturday, the 7th.
Okay. I didn't want us giving conflicting dates. Okay, all right. Other announcements, anything we missed? Yeah, Commissioner Thomas.
Since you're talking about grants, the fire department received a grant to put emergency lighting on a vehicle that was budgeted this year, and that was with the help of Shanna and Robert helping us do that grant, and just wanted to give a shout out that it takes everybody to do their part in order to receive grants, and I appreciate all the help that everybody gives. Thank y'all.
Yeah, Bedford's been fortunate to receive quite a bit of grant, and there's a lot of work to prep the grant and then hope you win it, and then the finance department, and then on the back end has to do the monitoring and tracking for compliance. And so, but it's still worth it. It's well worth it for us to go through these, and we have had several of them. All right. Am I missing anybody? All right. Are we ready to adjourn?